Today, we're gonna use the Onshape application to make a 3D sketch of connecting rod. Using the Onshape app, we're gonna visualize the appearance of the connected rod, and while making it, we're gonna learn what are the different tools in Onshape.
This project is a connecting rod and will give us the opportunity to explore the effective use of sketch plane as well as the use of mirror in both sketching and in features. So we first must make a new part studio or document and set the units to millimeter and kilogram. Then the first thing we need to do is sketch the front plane and then view normal to sketch. And we want to establish the distance between the two end circles of the connecting rod. So we are going to make a line and make it a construction line, which will eventually be the center line. So the measurement of the line is 200 millimeters. Next is we will use the center point circle for the both sides of the rod. The hole should have a diameter of 35 millimeters outside and 25 millimeters inside. At the other end, it is going to be an arc, so we're going to use a center point arc because we know the origin will be the center point and we want it to be vertical to the origin. So we will sketch it around to make it vertical to the origin. So the radius outside the arc must be 30 millimeters. And the inside, we will do the same sketch around except the measurement will be 25 millimeters.
This by using a line and to create closed region. So using a line to sketch the upper part of connecting feature. So the vertical line, horizontal line, and another vertical line, and horizontal line to the left. And use a line that is parallel to the center line. So we need to put the dimension. So the dimension here is 15 millimeter. And the dimension here is 15 millimeter also. And the dimension here is 7 millimeter. So at the dimension in these lines, dimension is 25. And we need to add arc here. So we need to do the 3-point arc. So from this point to this point, in this case, so the radius is 30. And we do the same thing in the side. From this point to this point, the another point, and the arc is 22. So in this arc, so as we can see, we can use the tangent.
So after that, we're gonna use mirror to make the body part of the connecting rod. We're gonna select the construction line as a mirror line, and then we're gonna select the upper part and middle part of the connecting rod as entities to be mirrored. Then, right-click and click the escape mirror to stop mirroring. After that, right-click and click the confirm sketch 1. We're gonna look at the sketch by right-click and click the isometric to view the sketch in isometric view. Then, click the extrude tool to select the inside of the bigger circle and the half circle, and click the symmetric to have an equal side in both sides, and put the 25 millimeter depth. And then, exit the extrude tool by clicking the check in the extrude tool. Click the eye symbol to show the sketch 1 and then make second part by making another tool and click add to add the part 2 and to part 1. The added part 2 should be symmetric and have a depth of 12 mm. After that, exit the second extrude tool.
So this time we will be adding fillet. So to do that, just click on the fillet icon from above and we're gonna add a radius of 6 millimeters. And just select the edges. We're gonna add fillet on. So in this case, we will be doing it on both sides. So there has to be 4 edges. Now if everything is all set, just click accept and there you go. Now let's go back to isometric view. And this time we will be adding a slot sketch or a recessed slot on this surface. So to do that, we're gonna add a new sketch. So we will be making the slot sketch in here. So just right click and click view to normal sketch plane. Now we will be using a sketch tool which requires a center line. So I will be using a line tool. And from the center point of this circle, we're going to create a line which measures 40 millimeters. And another line connected to it. And let's dimension it to 100 millimeters. And there you go. So from here, we couldn't see any blue lines, which means it is already defined. So we can now use the slot tool. So from above, click the slot tool. So if the slot tool is not visible from above, just click on the drop down ribbon on the offset tool and you can find the slot tool there. So click the slot tool and the center line where we will be adding the slot. And to define this has a radius of 7.5 millimeters or a diameter of 15 millimeters. And accept the sketch. Now let's go back to isometric view. This time we can now extrude the slot sketch. So click extrude and click on the slot sketch we've made earlier. So in this case, we will be removing parts in here. So instead of adding, click remove. And let's add a depth of 3 millimeters. So the other feature in here will remain as is. So just leave it there. And if everything's all set, just click accept, which creates our recessed slot. Now we will be also doing this on the other side of this connecting rod, but instead of adding a new sketch, we can just mirror this recessed slot that we've made to the other side of this connecting rod that we are making.
For the mirror, choose featured mirror, as it is used to mirror specific features. And then you need to choose extrude 3, since it is the feature that is needed to be mirrored. Then select front plane as the mirror plane, and with that, the feature is mirrored to the other side. Then accept the feature, hit the ISO, metric, and then next, there are holes needed at the end of the connecting rod. To do that, you need to create a new sketch at the end and then view it to normal. The center line of the arcs is needed to clearly see the position where the holes would be. Define it by the use feature and select the top and bottom arc. Then, using center point circle, create a circle at the center of the top arc with a radius of 6 millimeters. Create another circle at the center of the bottom arc. Then select both circles and use equal feature for both circles to have the same radius. Accept the feature. View it isometric. Next is to extrude both circles. Select both the top and bottom circle and then change the blind and choose through all. We have the merge scope of part 1 and then accept the feature. Connecting rod is finished. View the isometric and then hide the top, front, and right plane as well as the sketches to see the whole connecting rod clearly. And with that, the connecting rod is finished.
So that's it. Those are some of the basic features of Onshape you can use, especially if you're just starting or a beginner in designing. And also, Onshape is a recommended tool if you're looking for a program in designing, especially on machine designing. Another thing about Onshape is it is also used by professionals on companies, including in the field of engineering, machine designing, motorsports, and medical services. So Onshape is very complex and you can do more than the previous project that we've made. So enjoy and have fun exploring Onshape.